Joining me right now, the communications director for Senator Ted Cruz, Rick Tyler. Rick, great to have you here with us. I really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
I'm sure I am not the first one to show you this. This is the cover of the Des Moines Register right now, which says, "Rough night for Ted Cruz."
Yeah, and just on the inside of that page, they endorsed Marco Rubio before, and the reason they did is because the editorial of the Des Moines Register, which is a left-leaning paper, likes amnesty. They like comprehensive immigration reform, and so they like the Gang of Eight, and so their candidate is Marco Rubio.
I will get to immigration in just a moment. Donald Trump, who is not the Des Moines Register, said your candidate got pummeled. Again, what was this Ted Cruz's best debate?
You know, what I saw last night was more about New Hampshire, ironically, than it was about Iowa, because the person who wasn't going to win Iowa, Donald Trump, you know, cut and run. He didn't go to the debate. Now today he's in New Hampshire, so he's not competing in Iowa. So he wants to provide all these excuses of why he's going to lose Iowa.
He's coming back. I mean, he's coming back.
He'll come
He
back.
got a plane. He can
but
go anywhere he wants.
everybody else, no one else on the stage is going to win Iowa. So they were all pivoting, or they were all pivoting and trying to position themselves for New Hampshire, because all of them, almost everybody else on that stage, except for Ben Carson, has a single state New Hampshire strategy. So that's what you were seeing last night is jockeying for position to win. They're not going to win Iowa. They've got to win New Hampshire.
Are you going to win Iowa?
I hope to win Iowa.
Do you have to win Iowa?
We don't have to win Iowa. We've been the underdog for this entire race.
You weren't the underdog for about a month. You were leading in the polls by a lot.
We have, but if you look back from the beginning, we were at 4% of the polls, and we've steadily built our way up, and now we're either in the lead or tied, and we'll find out Monday night. But I don't think we have to win Iowa, because we've built our campaign for the long haul. That's why we spend so much time in the South, in the SEC states. We've organized there. We have 200,000 volunteers, and today we announced that we had $19 million cash on hand as of the fourth quarter, which is more money than most candidates would have raised in the fourth quarter.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
No question about that. There was also a lot of flack, a lot of punches being thrown on that stage last night,
right,
particularly on the issue of immigration.
Sure.
Ted Cruz was right in the middle of it. We can talk about the Marco Rubio exchange. Let's talk about the Rand Paul exchange first. Rand Paul, who is, you know, libertarian, conservative guy, said that Ted Cruz has an authenticity problem when it comes to the issue that I think you think is one of the hallmarks of your campaign.
Well, I would disagree. The immigration fight was clear, and talk radio will clarify that today, because Marco Rubio's been trying to change what happened.
This is Rand Paul. Let's talk about Rand Paul. Rand Paul says you have an authenticity problem.
Well, Rand Paul finally got back on the stage, so I'm sure he would try to attack. But Ted Cruz does what he says and says what he does. And the reason we're doing the full Grassley here in Iowa is because Ted Cruz says he was going to do it. And I read an article today from the AP. You know, why should he do that? Why should he go to all these small towns? Is he going to lose it? No, because he said he would do it, and so we're going to finish it.
There was that clip. They played it last night at the debate, though, where you have sound of Ted Cruz saying he wants people to come out of the shadows.
And everybody who followed the Gang of Eight knows exactly what that was about. He had introduced a bill that said that people who were here illegally would never get citizenship. And he was articulating the Gang of Eight's own talking points to get them to call them out on why don't you pass this amendment on citizenship if these are the real things that matter. So they take it out of context. And by the way, Marco Rubio introduced an amendment to a bill for the Iran deal, which the Iran deal, most on the right agree that would give Iran nuclear weapons. So he introduced an amendment that said recognize Israel, and we supported that. Everyone would support that. So by his logic, he wants Iran to get nuclear weapons by offering an amendment to a bill.
That's what Chris Christie would call the Washington to English dictionary right there. Last question. Ted Cruz used a word last night. I think it was an insult, but I've never quite heard it used this way before. He called Marco Rubio smooth. What did he mean by that?
Well, Marco Rubio is very articulate. He speaks very fast. I thought last night he seemed very defensive. And you know what I miss about Marco Rubio was the joyfulness he used to have, and the smile and the easygoingness. I haven't seen that Marco in a long time. Marco Rubio looks tired and like he's angry and he's not having a good time. So, look, I think Ted Cruz was having a good time last night. I think he was in command of the facts. He did take some incoming, but he handled it well.
Rick Tyler, great to have you.
All right,
Thanks so much.
Great to be with you.